So, just at the stroke of lunch on day 3, India have been bowled out for 400. Thus, they have a lead of 223 runs. The day began with India at 321 for 7, leading by 144 runs. We were wondering, can India go past 200 in the lead? And they did pretty sensationally, because Ravindra Jadeja, he looked good for 100, but unfortunately a rare lapse of misjudgment. It drifted in from Todd Murphy. The ball then held its line and Jadeja let it go.
Absolutely.
Knocked back off stump. But then Akshar Patel, we were thinking that maybe he could get his second
ever first class
ton.
And first ever at international level in tests.
And Mohammad Shami, he benefited from that one dropped catch that Scott Boland had at long on. Because remember, that would have made a difference of at least 30 to 40 runs in the lead if you had to look at it. 180, 170, 180, Australia would have been mildly pleased because already they were chasing the game. But then after the dropped catch, Mohammad Shami exploded, got 2 sixes. Yes. In 1 over Scott Murphy, and that's about it. Australia lost whatever feint, you may say, that slit that you had in the door. Even that was also shut by concrete, and that is why now India have a lead of 223 runs. What was the major problem? Australia bundled out for 177. The tail also did not chip in. How much?
Exactly the opposite happened with India.
The 8th wicket partnership stitched 88 runs.
Correct.
The 9th wicket stitched 52 runs. And the last wicket pair added 20.
And that's valuable runs in the context of this test match.
160 runs for the last 3 wickets.
That's almost as much as Australia made in the entire first innings.
Exactly. Just 17 more than the last 3 wickets that India have contributed in. So, 223 runs, day 3 lunch. We should be joined by Rahul from Nagpur.
Soon enough.
Who, in addition to the test match, is also enjoying these Nagpur oranges there. So, the summary of the match is such now. Australia will be really cursing the fact that they could not make 250 plus or 300 on this wicket. Because imagine, even if they had made 300, a lead of 100, they were very much in the game.
200, 250, you were still in the game. But again, I mean, 300 is a lot. Because again, I think that would have been asking a lot, but they could have easily targeted 250. 250 would have been good. But now they're very much behind the 8 ball and they're going to have to bat out of their skins to even overcome the lead which India have put in front of them. Because again, 223 runs, and you saw that pitch was definitely starting to deteriorate.
It was now. There will be a video that I have done on Ravichandran Ashwin before the start of the day. He had given an interview with this host broadcasters, and there Ravichandran Ashwin had some very interesting insights on the pitch. He didn't have to look he didn't have to bend and look down on the pitch. He just knew that it is still an easy paced wicket. The looseness, we all thought that the pitch would loosen up, there would be more cracks coming, it would explode off the surface. Nothing of that has happened, because see, 140 overs plus you had about 60 overs, 200 overs, 1,200 balls. Hardly 4 or 5 have exploded off the deck.
True.
Now, how will India explore that option now? Because see, they have primarily relied on 2 things, accuracy and drift.
Correct.
Todd Murphy's wicket of Ravindra Jadeja today was a classic
example.
It drifted in, and Nathan Lyon did not get the drift.
Yeah, he was trying too hard to actually get Red's turn, and he was getting turned, but what is the point of that turn when it's turning away from the batsman, not troubling them?
Absolutely. So that is why a big issue, if you have to look at it, the drift that Ashwin, Jadeja, Akshar get, that will be vital. And I had mentioned yesterday on day 2 that, and is that Rahul we have...
Have you been joined by Rahul yet?
Hi Rahul.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so once we get Rahul in, we'll join. And I had said yesterday, if Australia have to be in the game, they have to ensure that they erase the deficit with only 3 to 4 wickets down.
I don't.
Then and only then. But otherwise, looking at the way how the wicket is, and is Rahul with us? Hi Rahul, can you hear us?
Yes, Siddharth, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so we are joined by Rahul
From Nagpur.
From Nagpur. In addition to enjoying the match at Jamta, he's enjoying his Nagpur Oranges as well. Rahul, so far, India 223 run lead. From where you are seeing the pitch, has it already started to deteriorate? Is it now going to be incredibly difficult for Australia to erase the deficit?
It will be difficult. The way wicket, it's a third day wicket, and also, India would be aware of the fact. And by the way, the weather here, it's pretty hot. Huh? So the wicket will dry up, will further dry up, and also we'll have to see if those cracks, if there are any. In fact, it will be very difficult for the batters, not just the spin. But also the slow nature of this wicket will trouble the Australians.
And Rahul, how surprised were you when the Australians, who are known to be very safe fielders, they dropped 3 chances. Steve Smith dropped 2 chances. 1 chance was dropped by Scott Boland today. Yeah. How vital will that play into the Australian psyche heading into when they come to bat now? Because they must be thinking, oh, had we taken those catches, the lead could have been maybe 150 or 140-ish.
Usually any team would never say that we have lost this game until, and as of now, only 2 innings are over. But considering the situation that Australia are in, it's very difficult. They also know that, the only thing that they can do from here is perhaps they can stretch the game. Maybe if they play really well, they can stretch the game onto the 5th day. That's the only possibility. But possibility, even though it's a very, very, very difficult task for the Australians, because the Indian spinners, a couple of deliveries that we saw, that Nathan Lyon or Todd Murphy bowled to Akshar Patel. They turned quite a bit, by the way. Yeah. They turned quite a bit, and it will be difficult. The Indian spinners, and it's a very they are the nature and the quality of the spinners, of course, is different from what we have as what the Indian team has, Ashwin, Akshar Patel, Jadeja. It's a variety. Yeah. Unfortunately, Australia didn't have the variety. See, Nathan Lyon relies a lot on topspin. So when Todd Murphy was here last evening, he said that he had to then change to side spin a lot. So he relied on side spin. And that was one of the reasons why he got those many wickets. 7 wickets for Todd Murphy. But, you'll have to give credit to the Indian batters, the way they batted. And by the way, I was watching, in fact, you must have seen those knocks also. Shami, Siraj, everybody, Akshar and Jadeja, we've spoken at length since yesterday. Fabulous batting by both of them, Jadeja and Akshar. But then even the comfort with which Mohammad Shami was batting, some of his strokes, some of the boundaries, some of the sixes, the one that he hit over the longer fielder, then a punch to sweep a cover, a few of the strokes that he played, they looked at complete ease. But this pitch is not easy. So that is what the partnership between Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel had done. That the other batters who came in or who followed them, Shami and Ashwin, they knew that they just have to stretch this lead and take this game beyond Australia, which I think last evening when India had taken that lead of 144, yeah. I think they had already taken this game beyond Australia. It's just maybe the only question is for the Australians is can they delay the inevitable? How long? So, cricket is a funny game, by the way. I know I'm being a little over optimistic considering that we would want to see India win. But then, going by what has happened, I think India should wrap up this game by tomorrow, if not today.
Right. Yeah, because actually, I was just going to ask you, do you see any chance, even if, say, for instance, we also are seeing it, and based on how the match has gone, a finish by tomorrow seems very likely. Do you think India would actually need to bat at all, considering the number of runs and the way the pitch is playing?
Yeah, Shane, it can happen. It can happen. You never know. Maybe the only positive thing that I see here for the Australians is that now they've seen how the Indian batters have played or batted,
Right.
and they know that there are no such demons on the wicket. And they can also apply themselves, and they can also get runs. They can also maybe get to somewhere around 400. Because India just posted a score of 400, and if they can get to somewhere around 400 and give India a target of say about 175, it could be a very, very tricky target for the Indians. So I know, as Siddharth also mentioned right at the start, that the Australians are on the back foot, but it's not over. Although India from here, they have the confidence, they have runs on the board, they have a very good lead, and they have the Australians on the mat. It's just now, they need to get that top order out. Just get into that middle order, get to their best batsmen, because one odd ball has your name written on it. To be very honest, however good you are, there would be one odd ball, because it will be relentless spin from both the ends, left arm spinner, and all three bowlers, Ashwin, Jadeja and Akshay, they are different in nature. They have and skill set also. Ashwin, of course, an off spinner. Jadeja, especially, the slow nature of the ball, and if the odd ball does stay low, a lot of these batsmen will be legged before and will have their wickets castled.
Absolutely, and I mean, if we're talking about the top order and India getting through, they managed to do that pretty effortlessly in the first innings, and obviously this pitch has become a lot more difficult. So what would the approach be, I think, from both Khwaja and Warner, considering this, we had a lot of talk about left-handers struggling, but India's two left-handers have done well, yet both of them, didn't really get among the runs at all, and the pitch has become a lot more difficult now. What would be the approach on their part?
See, as for the Australians, or rather the Indians, the Indian left-handers, I think the Australians, they had only two off spinners.
Yeah.
They didn't have a left-arm spinner. So, that is one thing, but that does not take anything away from the way Akshar and Jadeja batted. Now, the approach. They need runs, and they'll have to score runs. I can understand they have to apply themselves. You can say, they can be very defensive. They can get over defensive. I don't think that's going to work. As I said earlier also, the way it's a third day wicket.
Yeah.
It's hot out here, and the wicket is only going to get drier and drier. So it's only going to get more difficult also. So, and also it depends on the roller. So the moment I was doing live in the morning, so I couldn't see what roller did the Indians use.
Right.
Earlier in the day, because if the wicket is dry and if you use a heavy roller, and I suppose if I would have been in their shoes, I would have used a heavy roller. Why? Because I would want my bowlers to get the best opportunity to have a crack at these Australians, so that if the wicket is dry, it will only get better, and it can break down further. There would be further wear and tear on this wicket with sun beating down on this wicket. So that would help your spinners. And as I said, if you get ultra defensive, one odd ball will have your name written on it. It could be a good bounce, maybe that a spinner can extract, or maybe the ball might just keep a little low. So you have to score runs. That is what Rohit Sharma at least showed you. The kind of momentum that India got on the first day in the last session with that innings of Rohit Sharma. Because if you see, the next morning he was a completely different batsman. But at the same time, if Australians have to make a match out of it, that means they will have to get India out on the field, as in to bat again. And to bat again, they'll need runs on the board. And to get runs on the board, they will have to score runs. So you have to show some intent. You can't just get into your shell and just wait for runs to come. You will have to score runs. Runs won't come.
Rahul, there was a comment by Ravichandran Ashwin at the start of the day when he had he had commented on the pitch that it is easy paced and it is not breaking up as we thought it would be. Number one. Number two, what do you make of this comment that premeditation can sometimes get the better of batsmen who come from outside of the subcontinent, like Australia, New Zealand, England, and South Africa.
Premeditation can
get the better out of you. Matlab, what he said was premeditation can
better
sometimes
out of you.
work the other way. That's what he said. Premeditation can work the other way. In the case of Alex Carey, what he had said was he was employing only the sweep and the reverse sweep. But he didn't rely on this defense. He said that that is his only defense, sweep and reverse sweep. What do you make of that comment? Is it true?
I absolutely, and it stands true not just for the overseas players, but for every player. You know, this is what you have to see. Rohit Sharma looked so assured because he knew when to go forward and when to defend the ball on his back foot. That I completely agree. If you remember, you know, this is exactly what we were discussing the other day, of course, in Bangladesh, when Virat Kohli came out to bat. I think Mehdi Hasan was the bowler. So Virat defended him. He took a long stride forward and defended him continuously, non-stop. So then, and he looked really, really good. You know, but he defended right from the middle of the bat. And thereafter, what happens? Mehdi Hasan just pulls that length back a bit. Suddenly, a ball, the delivery that Virat could have played on the back foot. He went forward and I think that ball hit his bat or glove and ballooned to the closing fielders. So that way, premeditation actually can cost you your wicket also at times. So, and it's a slow wicket, especially when you go forward. You know, I can still understand that if you're on the back foot, you can still maneuver a bit. But when you've already committed on the front foot, then it's very difficult to then change anything if the length is not according to your to what you thought. So that's one thing. Alex Carey, I would say he also got runs. He scored those runs because he went for them. Maybe he thought that just a survival, just to stay on the wicket is not the best form of survival on this wicket. That's what I think.
Okay, so will India employ the pacers at the start because they'll have a fresh cherry, or do you think it will be spin throughout?
Good question. See, you have two really, really good pacers. So you might just give them the new cherry. But you never know because they are experienced fast bowlers.
Yeah.
So there would be a temptation to have Ravindra Jadeja or even an Akshar Patel with the new ball. By the way, maybe Ashwin can start with the new ball, considering that you have David Warner and Usman Khawaja. So I'm actually going with Ashwin and one fast bowler.
Ashwin and one fast bowler.
Actually, that would make sense, considering I think now the pitch is going to be deteriorating a lot. Just a word on one of our commenters was asking, Rahul, is that how do you keep out, now obviously you're playing in India, you can play three spinners. Akshar Jadeja, the debate just seems to be growing more and more. So, Akshar now is proving no mug with the bat as well. Going forward, how is that a conundrum that gets addressed? Or do you just pick Jadeja across formats anyway?
Jadeja.
Yeah.
Jadeja, because of
Jadeja, I know, and I completely agree. It's a debate. It's something that needs to be debated, especially with the way Akshar Patel has played in the last few months, and he has improved his batting.
Correct.
Maybe, we always thought, why was Jadeja ahead? At least what we thought was Jadeja was a good bowler, was a decent bowler, especially on Indian wickets. Now, on Indian wickets, on Indian subcontinent wickets, in Test cricket, even Akshar is a pretty good bowler, by the way. He also has a decent sample size where he's picked up wickets. But maybe Jadeja was ahead of him in terms of batting. But the way Akshar Patel has batted, not just in this particular test match, but in white ball cricket also, at least he has told you to have a fair comparison there. That I'm here and now I have figures and numbers that you can actually compare with Jadeja. But still, I think Jadeja with his experience, and by the way, Akshar Patel is also a very, very good fielder. May not be as good as somebody like Jadeja, but he is one of the best in this Indian outfit. So in all three departments, Akshar Patel is catching up, but still because of that experience, Jadeja is ahead.
Rahul, now we have seen two innings. Both Australia and India have played on this deck. It's a third day of this match. Has Australia been just spooked by the build-up to the pitch? And in fact, this is just a normal, proper Indian test wicket?
See, I think you're right. They were far too bothered about the nature of this wicket. The moment they saw this wicket, things began to change for them as to what their thought process would be. They messed up with their selection also. Went in with just 4 players, 4 bowlers, Scotland and Pat Cummins, their fast bowlers, and Todd Murphy and Nathan Lyon as their 2 spinners. And I was a bit surprised. Scott Boland is not express fast, but he has a decent pace. Yesterday, in fact, in the first session, when I saw Alex Carey, the wicketkeeper, standing right behind the stumps, and this was the first session, I was pretty surprised, and that was something I saw throughout the day. At times, if I am a fast bowler and in the morning session, I see this, I would actually feel a little embarrassed also, and it will dent my confidence. You never know what happened today on the field when he dropped Shami, a sitter of a catch which he couldn't judge. He was there on the field. He hardly bowled today. He didn't get to bowl today, and understandably so. They had their spinners who were operating, and then there was Pat Cummins also finished off the Indian innings. Pat Cummins, but he didn't get to bowl. Must be thinking a lot. He got this opportunity at the expense of Hazelwood, who was out. Then Stark was also injured. So a lot was that dropped catch could be a result of what has happened in the last couple of days as far as Scott Boland is concerned. And you never know. See, Steve Smith dropped
2 catches.
Twice, dropped 2 catches. One of Rohit Sharma, of course, they didn't have to pay that heavily because he was bowled next ball. But then, Steve, all these things, all these things do matter, and the body language also. And Australians were on the field for 1 full day. Yep. And 1 full session, and to add to that, the post-match session, the post-tea session on day 1. So they have those tired legs now.
Okay, so the last question, Rahul, before we let you go, do you think that the Australians' body language now, because they're staring at a 223-run deficit, is it now already deflated from what you could see? And second, if Australia put up a miraculous batting show, what do you think could be the target that they want to set India in order to stay themselves in this test match?
I think 400, because you will need somewhere around 175 odd runs to make a match out of it. And they would also feel, I won't say they will feel safe, because now that what they've seen is that Akshar Patel is coming out to bat at number 9. And Mohammad Shami got 37. So you know that till number 9, you have 9 proper batsmen. It's not that they can bat, they bat. As simple as that. So that is one thing. 400, they might have a good start. They can have a good partnership maybe in the middle. But Siddharth, eventually, what happens? Especially on wickets like these, 1 wicket can lead to another, to another, to another. And those collapses we've seen so very often in the past, especially on Indian wickets, because the spinners, the moment you give them anything, they will just latch onto it and will pull the entire team with 1 wicket and thereafter collapse.
Exactly, because see, it happened in the first innings when Labuschagne fell, Smith Renshaw fell in quick succession.
There was a lot of collapses.
Alex Carey, when he fell, then the entire tail got wiped out pretty quickly. Now, Australia, looking at the deficit that they have, if they have to stay in the contest, by erasing the deficit, they need to be only 2 or 3 down. Only then they have a chance. Otherwise, if they lose 2-3 wickets and they are 6 down or 7 down even before the deficit is erased, game over.
Absolutely.
Even today or by max, I would suggest first session day 4. That would be the game. But yes, it has been a very, very dominant performance from India. And thank you, Rahul. Thank you so much for joining us. And what do you think?
Thank you. What has happened to Nikhil?
Nikhil
He
has
lost
not
his
too
voice
well, huh?
entirely.
Yes, Nikhil has lost his voice
Just like
entirely.
the Nagpur wicket, his condition has also deteriorated. Huh?
Yes, but the Nagpur pitch deteriorated rather slowly. Nikhil's voice deteriorated rather rapidly.
I did, yeah.
And when you come from Nagpur, Rahul, are you going to give us the Nagpur oranges?
Or the orange burfis, which one will it be?
Good question. See, the burfis would be, Shane is smart. Because I have a track record. If people ask me to get something in particular from some other place, what I usually do is I buy it from Delhi and then tell them. See, it's also about how the person feels, as in, see, if I tell you that I've got these oranges from Nagpur, you know that I won't lie and you'll accept them as
Nagpur
oranges from Nagpur. But Shane is smart. Burfi I may not find
Get
in Delhi.
Delhi, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So don't worry.
Okay.
Let me see when will I return, tomorrow or day after. Because that also depends on what the Australians do.
Exactly. Lavkaran Tour is like from the US. He's like asking us, how is Gill out of the side and KL is in the 11? It's just beyond me. Gill is in the form of his life on the way to become another great. Do you think that there will be changes made?
I doubt.
Sorry.
Do you see if India win this particular match? Do you see them make any changes for Delhi or will they stick with the same side?
I have my doubts and I would actually want, you can also always say maybe in Delhi KL Rahul can get runs and well, I think he'll get 2 opportunities and this is my gut feeling. This is what I think may happen in future in times to come. And that can happen only because, and by the way, there's a big if, If KL Rahul fails in the next 2 tests, I think Shubman Gill will open with Rohit Sharma. And you never know, maybe Abhimanyu Ishwaran is your backup opener. That's what I think. I feel.
Wow.
May or may not be right.
Quite possible.
Quite possible. So, and we don't have any further update on Shreyas Iyer, right, Rahul?
Shreyas, I'll just check. Maybe he'll join the team because the team as it is going to stay here. I think till 14th. So they'll be here in Nagpur.
Oh.
And the next test begins on 17th, right?
Yes, 17th. Yes, in Delhi.
Yeah.
And maybe by Monday or Tuesday, I think we will come to know the fate of the Dharamshala test as well, isn't it, Rahul?
Yeah, I think either Bangalore or some other place, because you also have to see that it's a test match, and there's a huge entourage of close to 350 people. So you need a place or a city where that can actually accommodate this entire entourage. You have the Australian team, the Australian media, the Indian team, the broadcasters. So you need that sort of accommodation facilities. Do we have anything like that in Vizag? So I think it'll be difficult to stage that test match at such a short notice. Maybe in a venue. Maybe you can't stage that match in any of these smaller venues. I think you'll have to go to a big city.
Correct.
Yep. So that is the situation that we have at this point in time, that we don't know about Shreyas Iyer's availability. We will come to know about it. Rahul will be giving us updates.
I think most likely he should be available.
Right.
He should be.
But nothing official about it. Let me check and maybe I can get back to you.
Exactly. So Rahul will continue to give us all the breaking news, updates from Nagpur and Delhi, and in the 3rd test and in the 4th test.
Whatever that may be.
Yeah, He's our eyes, ears in all the venues that's there. Thank you so much. And I'm very, very surprised at the network.
But I'm actually sad, the match is not happening in Dharamshala. I wanted to go to
That's a
Dharamshala.
lovely ground.
Lovely ground. It was my test debut in coverage. I am very, very sad that it may not happen. So, yes, and I'm very surprised for one more thing. The network held where Rahul is.
Yeah, actually, very, very surprised at that.
Yeah, how did you manage that, Rahul?
This is something confidential I cannot share.
Yes.
I knew it.
Okay. So we will begin the Australian reply, I think, in about 10 minutes, right?
Yes, in about 10 odd minutes, I think.
Oh, and I think they are using the light roller, Rahul.
Yeah, that's the thing. The visuals on TV are showing a lighter roller.
Yeah, that's expected, no?
Yes.
The batting team will, of course, the moment you use a heavy roller, the wicket will break down.
Exactly.
So that's expected. That's what I was saying. Na? I am not aware if the Indians in the morning used a heavy roller or a light roller. Because I know, because there are two things. Either they can think about their own batsmen, that the moment the wicket breaks down, it will be difficult for their batting. But then they would realize that we are 7 down, we already have a lead of 144. Even if we take a heavy roller and even if the wicket breaks down, eventually it's the Australians who are going to bat for the majority of the day.
Correct.
So let them be in that trouble and just get a wicket that would help our spinners, our bowlers, rather than theirs.
Right, and they were also sprinkling sawdust on the bowling.
By the way, Cameron Green is just finished his net session. He was batting there. I don't think if I've seen him bowl. Actually, I saw him bowl in the nets yesterday. By the way, he wasn't at full tilt, but he was bowling today. He had a brief net session.
Okay,
that's interesting because him returning actually bring a lot of balance to that team. I think the entire balance of their bowling composition was thrown out of whack once it was clear that he wouldn't be able to bowl.
Exactly. So if he comes back for Delhi, it will be a big boost because he will give depth to the batting also.
Correct.
Cameron Green. And you play Green and Cummins. If Stark is fit, he comes back.
Yeah, but 3 pacers in Delhi?
But then what will you go with your strength with? No, that won't happen. Yep. So you'll have to play Ashton Agar, Murphy and Lyon.
If you are going 3 spinners route, yes.
Then you'll have to play them. So Green and Cummins, the 3 spinners. If Green is fit to bowl.
If Green is bowling, yes.
So that is the thing. And as Rahul mentioned, he is practicing in the nets with batting. He's practicing and with the ball. I think yesterday he practiced. So India have used the light roller, and now let's see within 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think we'll know what.
Australia. They've used the light roller.
They have used Australia have used the light
Actually,
roller.
one of our commenters was also mentioning that
team.
India had used the light roller in the morning. Not sure how true it is, though.
Maybe you've seen it. I can just check and ask. Or ask and check.
Yep. So, a light roller. Indeed.
Expected.
Yep. So, okay. Any other further questions?
I think we can let Rahul go for now.
Yeah, we can. Yes, Rahul, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the tea break.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Rahul. Bye-bye. So that was Rahul from Nagpur giving us all the updates.
So we can actually keep going until the.
Yes, we can.
We can take a few comments. VK, nice username, points out. Shyam, just stop the comments. Says, what happens to Australian fielders when Leon is bowling to Indian batsmen? They always attack him and create chances, then drop them, just like it happened to Pant during the last series.
Oh, yes.
Actually.
Rishabh Pant was dropped a lot of times when Lyon was attacking, and because of that, India made an effort to chase down 360 plus.
Exactly.
But once Rishabh Pant fell, then India had to play cautiously, and Australia were into the chance. But Hanuma Vihari and Ravichandran Ashwin ensured that 42 overs, India would not surrender, and as what we saw, Rishabh Pant played an epic in Gabba, and we won that series. And by the way, great news for Rishabh Pant fans and for all Indian cricket team fans.
He's posted pictures yesterday of himself, walking with a crutch. So it's always good to see.
Good to see, and one hopes that he gains fitness pretty soon, because Remember, it's an ACL surgery. It takes about 6 to 9
6 to 9 months is what it takes for recovery. Then don't forget he'll have to get match fit also. So
Yes.
it's good to see he's at least on the road to recovery, looking fine. You know, that accident he suffered was definitely harrowing, heartbreaking.
December
They were worried
30th,
December
2022.
Yeah, it was a bad time, and you're glad to see he's doing much better now. Yes, obviously, plenty of swelling still on the right foot, but that's
Still.
bound to be expected.
Absolutely.
I'll take a couple more comments. Avinash Yadav says, I swore he's making predictions, swapping these players, Rahul with Gill, fair. Kohli with Washington Sundar.
Washington Sundar.
Big
Oh.
call, he himself admits
Yeah.
it. Sky with Iyer available. But see, if 1 and 3 I can see happening. KL, maybe he'll get another test.
Another test,
Because
yes.
again, he's not going to get to bat most likely in this particular match. I think he'll get another test. Iyer, if he's available, yeah, I think he walks in.
He
Because
walks
Sky
in.
really didn't really do any justice
Yeah,
or any...
but Kohli with Washington.
That's a very big call. Very big call.
Avinash Yadav, you are very brave.
Very
you are a
brave
very
man,
brave
very brave
personality.
man indeed.
Yes, hats off for your bravery. Virat Kohli on the basis of, okay, we agree, 2020 to 2023
And,
so
and
far.
if anything is, there's any indication, Kohli looks very relaxed because you're seeing the visuals on TV now. He and Jadeja are having quite a laugh,
Yes.
a little bit of a jig.
And what if Kohli scores a couple of 50s in Delhi?
Then that's it. All the questions are
All the questions are done.
Let's go
And-
down. Yeah, we can, because I don't think there's going to be any question marks thereafter.
Yep.
That Kohli with Sarfaraz. Again, I like Sarfaraz. Maybe he will,
He cannot fill up the void that Virat Kohli will have. Yes, it's just not possible.
In
Because
fact, Aditya Kavlekar makes an interesting point. He's saying that this year was the perk of playing Akshar over Kuldeep. Game-changing innings by Akshar. And you know what?
Yep.
In hindsight, you could say that was absolutely the right call.
yes, I
because-
mean, 88 run stand with Ravindra Jadeja where he was the aggressor.
Yeah.
And even in the partnership of 52 that he had with Shami, he played the anchor and Shami was the aggressor. Also helped by some very poor Australian fielding.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And also the tactics. I mean, Cummins could not attack but could not spread the field out that much as well.
Absolutely.
So rather than, why couldn't he have gotten the pacers in? Because Shami with his thing,
He
could have-
generally tends to look to whack everything.
Exactly.
And so the spinners were playing perfectly for him because Lan is tossing it up nice and full.
So is
and
Murphy.
Shami was just swinging his bat and it was coming off.
Exactly. So
Speaking of, Shami has the new ball.
and Shami has the new ball. Okay. So I think it'll be Shami Siraj.
I think they'll start with Shami Siraj until they're getting the cherry to move because there you can see
Yeah.
Siraj also, has the ball in hand, clearly would be wanting to,
A bright
open his,
red SG
he
cherry.
would be hoping to open his arms up.
Oh man, Usman Khwaja and David Warner, they have an uphill task.
And don't forget, last time around, the first innings, Khwaja and Warner both fell to the Pacers. So,
Exactly.
you can say whatever you want about spin and whatnot. But the fact
Absolutely.
is that the Pacers got the openers, and I think it's key for both of them.
Absolutely.
They need a good start.
Absolutely.
And good start means not just scoring runs, it also means not losing your wicket early.
Okay, supposing you make 25 overs, you make 46. No problem.
but
Then
they have
after
plenty of
that,
time.
they have plenty of time. Get to 200 for 2 or 3. That's about it. Then you are in the game. But whether they will be in the game, whether the Australians have the stomach to ensure that they can put up a fight, it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
And Shami
Decent
immediately
start
on the
so
mark.
far. So I think we'll take your leave for
Yes.
now. Nice long lunch session we had. We had a good chat with Rahul as well from
Exactly.
Nagpur. We'll join you guys
And
back.
it's a no ball. We take back our
We
words.
take back our words. Good
Yeah.
start, but anyway, hopefully that's just
It's just a
loosener.
small blip.
Exactly. Well, we'll see you guys at the tea session
Tea
now.
session.
Thank you all for joining us again. Don't forget, if you enjoy our work, like, share, subscribe, tap the bell, leave us a comment as well. We love hearing from you guys. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Download the SportsPack app too. You'll get all the match updates there as we speak. For now, though,
Tata,
bye-bye.
bye
Take
bye,
care.
Vanakkam. See you in the tea break.